Awesome.
All right, so we got Devin Votta, aka D Votes here. First installment of FLG Cribs. So I'm going to give our viewers a quick rundown on what Cribs is. Basically, it's going to be a new video segment where we are going to do video sessions and feature some of the FLG alumni in our program. This video segment is going to be between myself, Corey Winkoff, Program Director of FLG, and one of our alumni. Ideally, we're going to be going after our seniors this year, which is why we got Devin Votta kicking it off, because he's a senior over at Siena College.
Yep.
So the goal of this segment, we want to educate high school players on what it's really like to be a student and an athlete at the next level. And we want to give our alumni a chance to tell their story and share their experiences. So you want to give a quick intro of yourself, maybe a little something about us that we don't already know, Dev?
Yeah, definitely. What's up, guys? My name is Devin Votta. I'm a Levittown native. I went to Division Avenue High School. Played for the FLG program. 2013, I graduated high school. Played for the FLG for 3 years. Got recruited by Siena through a tournament called Hotbeds. I don't know if that's a big one. Still core, is it?
Yeah, Hotbeds is still kicking.
Yeah, man. So I'm here at Siena now. I'm a senior. I'm a captain. I play defensive midfield. And that's pretty much it. I got a little brother in the FLG program. So it's always nice to, stay involved. I coached the 2018 team. It's nice to be here, and I'd love to share my experience with you guys and, give you guys any advice that you have moving forward in the recruiting process.
Cool, man. I got a couple questions I'm going to start firing at you, and we can let it go wherever, but there's definitely a couple things I want to cover. The first thing I want to talk about is kind of like the timing right now. I know, you're a senior. It's January 13th, and less than 4 weeks away, you guys are going to be opening up your season against Syracuse in the Carrier Dome.
Yeah, man.
My question for you, why is this the most important game of the year?
The most important game of the year, obviously it's, to kick off the season and, a place as big as the Carrier Dome. When you're looking at college sports, lacrosse specifically, the Carrier Dome for Syracuse, Charlotte's Field for, Virginia, and Homeward Field for Hopkins. Those are like three big stadiums that you dream of playing in as a kid. So, for me to have the opportunity to do that for 4 years, we played Syracuse, and, we haven't had a very good outcome, but we're looking forward to this year. The Saints are back at it. We're bringing back a culture that was kind of lost a little bit the past 2 years. And it's exciting, man. Being in that dome, it's breathtaking. It's like Disney World for lacrosse players. So I'm pretty excited to play in it for one last go.
Cool, man. Well, good luck on that opener. That's got to be exciting. And, you mentioned earlier that you're the captain this year of the team. And why don't you just kind of tell everyone, at least for your program, like how do you get awarded captain, in Siena? Because it's different depending on what program you play for. How about for you guys?
Well, we actually vote on captains ourselves amongst the team. And then, coach evaluates those votes. And he deems like the last say for captain. So, it's a big role. It's a big responsibility. I'm honored to be a captain for Siena Men's Lacrosse. It's a big deal, especially at the college level. Like I said, a lot of responsibilities. You're making sure guys are, accounted for. We're on time for practice. Drills are high intensity speed. You're making sure, everyone's on the same game page. If there's a problem, guys on the team might come to you. And it might not just be lacrosse related. It might be school related. It might be, a social thing that they're dealing with. So it's important, to be a voice for your group, to your coach, but also, to be a voice that, can help kids and the guys that you play with, through their 4 years.
Definitely. As a leader of the team, what would you say is like the biggest challenge for you?
Biggest challenge, right now, I think it's just like maintaining the focus. Coach can only say so much. Sometimes, if your coach is yelling at you, you might put your head down. You might not be too into the game, but it's important that your captain's there, because it's relative to the player. Because I'm nothing special. I'm one of the guys, and I just have the voice for some of the guys that don't necessarily might not, have the guts to stick up for himself, or, like, I don't know. It's just like, it's important that, you maintain the focus with your team and your players, and making sure that everyone's on the same page going into game time.
Sure. What over the last 4 years, leadership is something that, it's definitely innate in some guys, and I've known you for a while, and I feel like you've always had some quality leadership characteristics. And yeah, man, I see when you coach and you play, like, you're all in, which is great. I guess for you personally, I'm just curious, what are some leadership qualities that have kind of grown within you, and how have you kind of and how have you grown? Like, have there been other guys that have helped you along the way that maybe you looked up to when you were a little younger that helped you become a better leader?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I was always coached by my dad when I was little, and he always used to tell me to give it everything you got, 100%. So that was like a mindset that I always try to play with going into every game. I kind of have his voice always in the back of my head, even though he's not coaching me anymore. And then leading up to high school, you still have like your father and your parents in there, in your ear. It's important to take that criticism and kind of critique it in your own way, and you might leave things behind. You might take in your own ideas. You might and then you look to other players that came before you, like the senior class when I was a freshman here. They were unbelievable leaders. They really brought us into a culture as a family. That's one of our mottos here at Siena. Every time we break the huddle, we say family. So it's important for a leader. You might have to raise your voice, you might have to yell, but you're there to be a positive influence. You want the guys in your team to like you. You don't want to be a bully, and that's important. You want to be a motivator. So motivation, obviously giving it everything you got on the field, not being a shithead sometimes. Sometimes you just gotta keep it real and do the right things in the classroom, on the field, and off the field.
Awesome. That's good stuff, man. And I guess, like, a big thing too, and I've even spoken about this with you a little bit over the summer, when you were coaching with us and interning with FLG, you kind of like look back in time, when you were, let's say, in high school, and you say, like, hey, if I knew what I knew now, would I have done things maybe a little bit differently? Would I have, approached things differently? I guess I'm going to ask you that same question while we got you on the phone. Like, if you know what you knew now, and let's say you're a junior in high school, what were some things that maybe you would have approached a little differently, or would you maybe kind of stuck with a similar plan and, just kind of ended up hopefully where you are now because you're in a great spot?
Yeah, definitely. I think the recruiting process is, a difficult thing to tackle for, some student athletes. I know myself, I had a little, a bit of a problem mentally during the recruiting process. But if I had to give advice, it's probably, you just got to remember that all the pieces of the puzzle are going to come together one way or the other. I had a dream of playing Division I, and I really wanted that. So, when junior year rolled around, I got involved with FLG, and it was an awesome club team and, awesome coaching. And, you play, you play to your best, you give it everything you got, and then is it still September 1st that the emails roll around for the juniors?
Yeah.
So, you evaluate those emails and you entertain everything. You shouldn't just not look at a school just because they're Division III or Division II, just because you have that Division I mindset. You should entertain everything because, now being a coach, and there's so many schools out there that I had no idea that could have potentially been really good fits for me. But I chose Siena. I wouldn't change it for the world. I love this place. I love it academically and athletically. There's 42 guys on my team. I played on 3 teams here so far. This is my 4th. So, I played with over, 60 players, 70 players, and they're my brothers for life. And I love them to death. I would do anything for them, both on the field and off the field. So, just going back to the recruiting process, I think it's important that athletes just entertain every single offer they get. It might not be an ideal school, but you never know. You might like a specific aspect of it that you didn't know. You might be looking more for a social school or a big school or a small school. a lot of guys like football. You know, you might want to go to a school that, you know, you could play lacrosse, but you can also go to a football game on Sunday. So there's a lot more things to do with college life than just lacrosse. So I would, you know, keep that in mind, interpret it like, you know, you guys want, and, you know, I wish you guys the best of luck.
Great. I mean, you know, we wanted to end each segment with you giving that piece of advice. So I really appreciate that response. And just to reiterate, you know, maybe some of the high school players that are going through the recruiting process that might see this, you just want them to make sure to entertain all possibilities and make sure to respect anyone that, you know, gives them attention and reaches out to them, because you don't know what could come of it. Is that right?
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Dev, this has been more than beneficial. I'm sure a lot of guys will get something good out of this. You know, I've learned a lot from you, just being able to coach you up, work with you, and coach with you now, which is pretty awesome. So I wish you luck this season, man, and I hope you guys, you know, exceed, you know, all expectations and hit all your team goals.
Hey, Corey, thank you. I really appreciate it. I had actually had the date wrong. We open up against Cuse on the 11th. We're scrimmaging UMass on the 4th. I think our first test is the 28th against Providence, so I'll be playing some FLG boys there.
Awesome, man. I'm sure we'll get a chance to be able to catch you on the stream or on TV for that Syracuse game, right?
Yeah, I think it'll be on ESPN3. So I'll let you know. We can get it out there to the guys.
Awesome. Thanks, Dev. I appreciate it, man. We'll catch you soon, right?
All righty, Corey.